Hello, welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you my travel setup for all my art supplies, what I carry around with me. I'm going to show you my old setup and my new setup and why they're different and how they work. So let's dive in. Okay, so I've kind of got my old setup here, which I will show you in a minute, but I really want to start with my new setup. And this is what I carry around with me all the time. I'm either working in cafes, sometimes just on my kitchen table. It's great to carry this around the house. And quite a lot of the work I do is when I am watching TV in the evening, so I can sit on the sofa with this. So first of all, if I show you this pouch, I don't know if you've come across these. Any bookish people, booktubers, you'll know exactly what this is. I actually bought this on Etsy from the Cozy Book Company. Yeah, that's the details there, the Cozy Book Company. This is called a book sleeve. I think this is either a small or a medium. It would be good to get a bigger size one so that the sketchbook would fit inside, but I found that this is the perfect size because it sits relatively well with a sketchbook and I can fit lots of like different supplies and things in here. So a book sleeve generally is you buy it for a book, and they're in different sizes because obviously you can get quite big hardback books, or you've got smaller paperback books, so that's what they're designed for, and that's why they don't have a zip or a closing at the top. You just slide your book in and out and it protects your book whilst it's in your bag. But any booktubers, bookish people, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So I came across this and I thought this would be amazing for all my art supplies, to keep them all in one place, especially when I'm on the go. So as you can see, I've just pulled out these things. So I've got a small pencil case. I always use a plastic one. I know not a lot of people like plastic, but I love the fact I can see all my supplies all in one go. So it's easy to just open it up, dive in and grab like the smallest thing from the bottom because I can see it right there. I can also carry, you know, a variety of things in here. I can also carry a brush pen in there if I want to. So even this on its own is quite nice if you've got a smaller bag. Even it's doable to just carry these two things. What I have started to carry as well is this. Again, it's plastic, which means it's really lightweight, which is awesome when you're carrying it in a bag. And this is my gouache paints. Now I use the Winsor & Newton gouache. I always say gouache. I'm sorry that I pronounce it wrong. I've always done that since I was at college. I've called it gouache. I know it's gouache. I'm so sorry that I pronounce it wrong, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I've discovered if you kind of squirt the gouache kind of along these channels, then they're less likely to break off. Do you see what I mean? So it's keeping them wet as well, which stops them cracking. You can, I think, add a tiny bit of honey to them or things like that, but yeah, I find that generally if you're using it all the time, or you just squirt a little bit of water in to just keep them moist, then they will stay. But otherwise that is a slight issue there where they do just crack and fall off. But this I found is so helpful and so much easier than carrying loads of tubes of paint. I will say that this is obviously water reactive gouache, so it's not the acrylic gouache which will straight away dry and you can't reactivate. I think some of these are watercolor as well, so any watercolor tubes, this is a great thing to do as well. It's just so easy, and I love that there's loads of mixing space on here. I also carry a bit of kitchen cloth, kitchen towel, so I can then just dab my brush on that. So yeah, really easy, and I love that this is like a really easy portable paint set. Something else when it comes to the paint is this, my my water brush pen. this is just invaluable. These are what I use all the time. I will carry other paintbrushes like this, and you could potentially squirt out a bit of water somewhere on the palette to use the other brush. But yeah, this is mainly what I use. Let's activate that one that's cracked. So you can see straight away, yeah, it's activating the paint, and I can straight away just put that down on the page. So yeah, really, really easy. Again, I can clean off the end of my brush by just dabbing it on here and then put the lid back on. And generally, I just put that straight into my book sleeve like that. So that's another thing. So I've got pencil here as well as a paintbrush, and then these are my go-tos which I use all the time, and again they're easy to just slide straight in. I will get those out for a second. So yeah, we've got these. Let's zip this up, pop this back in. So yeah, if you're in a cafe, for example, easy to get these out, spread them out on the table. This little box is just a cardboard jewellery box, and this is where I keep all of my, these are Neocolor 2s, but I've also got the Inktense blocks in here as well. So any sort of watercolour crayons as well, these are great to keep in here. So yeah, this is a perfect addition. So these are perfect to use on the go, and I love these because it's loads of colours. You can activate them just like a paint once you've put them down on the paper. And yeah, perfect to use on the go for paints that aren't messy instead of taking like a whole palette with you. I love this because this is actually quite a big box, but yeah, again, they can all pack down into one small space, and I just use an elastic band to hold it in place. So again, that's the sort of thing, I could just slip that straight into my bag with my sketchbook and alongside some just black fine line pens. But this also just slips easily then into my book sleeve. So I've got a lovely bundle in there of art supplies that are well protected, all in one place, and I can just slide that straight into my handbag, knowing that it's all kind of self-contained. Something at the moment as well, I am just working in black and white in my sketchbook here, so this makes it even easier because all I'm using is these. So that's an even easier travel kit of just using my Moleskine Art Collection sketchbook with some black fine line pens, and I've also quite often will use a pencil as well, so maybe keep that and just slide that into my bag as is. I want to show you now as well, I'll get those out of the way. This is the old setup that I used to have. Oh, I do have this pencil sharpener, which also will just fit into the top. So it's quite nice, you can carry quite a lot of things. But I've also got, yeah, so this, which is, I think I just bought this in Tesco, which is a UK supermarket. Again, I love that it's plastic. I can see every single art supply inside it. It fits things like my water brush pens. I've got a paintbrush in there. Obviously you can see pencils. There's a Blackwing pencil in there as well. So yeah, all sorts. I love that it's double-sided because you can either carry, say, like all your colouring pencils in one side and like all your Tombow pens in the other. So yeah, it does fit a Tombow pen, which is quite long. I've also got a smaller box which fits nicely in here because of the depth. You see it's quite deep. And again, it's the same principle. I've got the little cardboard jewellery box, an elastic band, and when I open it up, I've got my Neocolor 2s in there. So I can kind of keep them all together and slide that into here. I've got Ecoline pens, Ecolina pens. You could put acrylic, like Posca pens in there as well, so there's a Posca, and as, of course my pencil sharpener fits in there too. So this for a long time was my go-to before I started using more paint, and again it's similar size, so it just fits really nicely with my sketchbook, and I can just slide that all together into a bag. So if we compare the size, it does work out a similar size. So yeah, and it really comes down to the types of materials I want to take out with me. So I do like the fact that this is all quite self-contained and I don't need to pull many things out to access them. Whereas with this, if I want to use everything, I do obviously need to pull everything out so I can use everything individually. But yeah, this is what I find super handy at the moment. So I hope that you've felt that this has been inspiring, encouraging. It's given you some ideas of how you can just take different supplies on the go as well. I'm especially loving that I feel like I can access paint now a lot more easily. I think this has been a real revelation to me personally anyway. And it's really kind of opened up a whole new door of how I work with supplies. So that's been really, really fun to include my gouache gouache within yeah, things I already love. But yeah, these have been a go-to for me for a long time. My Neocolor 2s. If I want colour or paint, these are my basics that I will always take out with me because they're so easy and there's just much less mess when it comes to the whole idea of painting. So yeah, anything like that with colour, and then a water brush pen is just brilliant. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Lots of love. Bye.